WGN Sports.
Once again here in Pittsburgh tonight, we are at PNC Park for Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. The Cubs winning the opener last night, scoring a season high 14 runs, play the middle game of this series against the Bucks. Great to have you with us. Jim DeShays and Len Casper with you. The Cubs have won 5 of their last 6, and after a slow start offensively, they have been scoring runs in bunches.
Indeed, they have this little thing right here. It looks about 10 times as big to the Cub hitters right now. Our last 6 ball games, just under 9 runs per game, hitting better than 300 with an OPS better than 900. They now lead Major League Baseball, averaging just under 5.5 runs per game.
Let's get into the pitching matchup tonight. It's been a slow start for Kyle Hendricks, although he's always pitched well against the Pirates.
Yeah, he was 3-0 against them last year with an ERA of 0.47. They got him last time. This is actually a rematch. Garrett Cole's been awfully good against the Cubs in his career, and he beat Kyle and the Cubs back at Wrigley.
Cubs have had a good road trip, due in part and a large part because of Jason Hayward's 3 home runs and 11 knocked in. He's in the lineup again tonight. Cubs and Pirates, game 2 is next. Cubs baseball is brought to you by Budweiser, pursuing the American dream since 1876. This Bud's for you. Honda, great deals are waiting for you now at your local Honda dealer. State Farm, here to help life go right. Xfinity, Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Wendy's, where the quarter-pound double stack is now an option in the 4 for $4 at participating locations for a limited time. Meijer, true Chicago fans, your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer. And by Southwest Airlines, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. World Series champion Chicago Cubs baseball in high definition is brought to you by Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports. Tonight's Cubs Southwest Airlines starting lineup. Huge night offensively last night. Schwarber, Bryant, Rizzo at the top. Zobrist, Russell, and Hayward in the middle. Contreras, Hendricks, Almora Jr. at the bottom. This is hard-throwing Garrett Cole.
26-year-old Garrett Cole, 1-2, 4.70. Garrett Cole.
He's ready to work, and we are underway. A strike on Schwarber.
The average fastball velocity of 96 miles per hour for Cole this year. That's third best in Major League Baseball among starters. Also got a power slider, changeup, and a curve.
Bounce to first, picked up by Josh Bell. 2 pitches in, 1 away.
Pirates a couple errors last night. I guess it didn't matter much because the game was pretty much over. The first couple innings, the Cubs dropped a 9 spot on. But here's how they set up this evening. Polanco, McCutchen, Jaso in the outfield. Harrison, Mercer, Hanson, Bell on the infield. Francisco Cervelli is the catcher. The Pirates have committed 19 errors, most in Major League Baseball. Sloppy, pretty much on all fronts for the Pirates last night.
Chris Bryant got on base 5 times in the opener. 3 hits, 2 walks. And he takes a strike.
Chris now batting over 400 in this ballpark.
Ron Culpa is the plate umpire. Ed Hickox at first, Chris Conroy at second, and Jerry Meals, the crew chief, down at third. Chris Bryant was on the score today, and they asked him about bat flips on long home runs as he strikes out, and he had quite a quote that I'm sure you'll see over the next couple of days. He said, "It's enough of a disgrace to the pitcher when it's halfway up the video board." That's great.
Yeah, he doesn't want to rub it in. Just set his bat down, jog around the bases.
Cole wins the battle that time. Now it's Anthony Rizzo, who had his 12-game hitting streak come to an end last night. He did walk twice and scored 2 runs. He's got some really cool batting gloves on. 57 degrees as we get started. We were expecting it to be a little warmer than that, and we had some rain for several hours in the late afternoon. Unfortunately, ready to go. Like they prescribed start time. That looked like a pretty good changeup from Cole at 90.
Yeah, it's amazing what we see in the game now, guys. Routinely upper 90s fastballs and 90-mile-an-hour changeups and sliders.
Pretty impressive first inning for Garrett Cole. Kyle Hendricks to the mound when we come back. By Clint Hurdle, Josh Harrison in the leadoff spot playing third. So no David Freese tonight. Bell, McCutchen, Polanco 2 through 4. Tough night for Cervelli last night. Hitless had committed 2 errors. John Jaso is in right. Jordy Mercer at short. Switch hitting Alan Hansen is at second. And the pitcher Cole bats ninth.
Cubs defensively, Kyle Schwarber is in left. Albert Almora Jr. will patrol center field, and Jason Hayward is over in right. Infielder Bryant Russell, Zobrist Rizzo third to first. Wilson Contreras is the catcher, and our Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs starter is the professor, Kyle Hendricks. Sluggish start for Kyle. 3 starts, 1-1 with a 6.19 ERA. Choose Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, the card to carry through it all. So he's made 2 starts against Milwaukee. This is his 2nd start against the Pirates.
That's a strike. 85 on the fastball here early. Speaking of the weather, already 3 games have been washed out tonight in Boston, Philadelphia, and New York. Harrison lifts to center. Back now in and over a bit is Almora. He's got it for the first out. Joe Madden talking about Kyle Hendricks' velocity before the game. His fastball's been down just a little bit. He said it's not so much the actual velocity, but it's the split, the difference between the fastball and the changeup. He'd like to see a little more, as Joe said, separation.
Yeah, and you know, typically too, velocity equals action. You know, when you've got your best velocity, you usually have the best life, best movement on the fastball. Kyle's simply certainly a clever enough pitcher where he can get by without his A stuff. But yeah, his velocity's been down a couple ticks.
Josh Bell, a switch hitter.
It's pretty much been the case for all the Cubs starters here in the early stages of this season. Saw a little uptick from Arrieta in his last start.
That missed the outside corner. It's 2-1 on Bell, and you see what Kyle has done on the road. His last 6 times out against the NL Central. Pretty good.
His last start in this ballpark was late September of last year, and he pitched 6 shutout innings. That's going to be the challenge. You know, the longer you're in the league, especially the teams within the division, the more looks they get at you, they get a better feel for your stuff and how you attack.
Couldn't get him to bite. It's 3-2. McCutchen is on deck. And he walked him.
So far for Kyle, the walks have been up a little bit. He's allowed 4 home runs already this year. He only allowed 15 all last season.
McCutchen didn't play much last night with the game being determined pretty early on. 0 for 1 with a walk and a run. Cubs ran away with a 14-3 win in the opener. Ball 1. We call those laughers, but it's really only a laugher for one side. I don't think the Pirates thought it was particularly enjoyable.
No, probably not. The only thing that would bring any joy to a team on a night like that is if they had a position player pitch at the end of the game. It usually creates a little bit of a light moment.
Called strike, throw to first, not in time.
Wilson Contreras announcing his presence early, as he likes to do. Hendricks has a very good pickoff move. This combination of Hendricks and Contreras would be difficult to run on. Three out of 11, 27%. That's right around league average. He makes big plays with his. He's like a quarterback. He makes big plays with his arm. In the pocket and when he's scrambling.
Couldn't get the high one that time.
And having 87 miles per hour. When you look at his pitch usage so far this year, he has thrown more four-seamers, and I think that's by design. I think with so many hitters focusing on launch angle and getting that low ball in the air, the elevated fastball becomes in play a little bit more.
Easy play for Hayward. Bell's going to go halfway. That's the second out.
It sounds counterintuitive, but the idea being that guys are trying to lift the ball. They're taking more of an uppercut path at the ball, and therefore they would have a harder time squaring up an elevated fastball. I mean, he's not going to do a whole bunch of it because you still got to be true to yourself, and he's primarily a sinker changeup guy.
Now Gregory Polanco with 2 outs, 0 for 3, walked Monday night. He's in the cleanup spot. Cubs lead the division at 11-8. The Pirates are in last at 8-11. And the pitch.
Oh,
snagged by Rizzo. Would have been a double play, but there were already 2 outs. Nice defensive gem from the Gold Glover, the Platinum Glover, Anthony Rizzo, scoreless after 1. Anthony Rizzo stealing away a hit from Gregory Polanco.
Cat-like reflexes, a little snow cone action there. I don't know if that was ultimately going to be a fair ball or not, but if it were fair and he didn't catch it, it's probably score a run.
So Ben Zobrist will lead off the second inning. Garrett Cole in the first struck out 2. And had to throw just 8 pitches. They were all strikes. Bounced foul. I mentioned this is a rematch in the game at Wrigley Field recently. Cole and Hendricks, both from the same area in Southern California, Newport Beach. Pitch inside and in the dirt.
It's kind of an interesting matchup with Cole capable of touching 100 miles per hour with his heater, and Hendricks all about the finesse game.
Down the right field line and out of play.
Cole lifetime 9-2 against the Cubs. Among pitchers, active pitchers who have made at least 10 starts against them, that's the second best winning percentage. Edinson Volquez, 7-0 lifetime against the Cubs.
And Cole was hitting 100 miles an hour on the radar gun while he was in high school. Outside on a fastball at 97. I don't think there's any doubt if he were a short reliever, he'd be 99 to 100, right?
Probably, yeah.
And if he sits comfortably as a starter at 97, and 98 to get Zobrist. So 3 straight strikeouts for Garrett Cole.
Yeah, if you want to use a golf analogy, I guess he would be Dustin Johnson and Kyle would be Zach Johnson. Off the tee, Kyle would be about 40 yards behind him every time.
But he'd hit it down the middle.
Yeah,
right?
and he wouldn't miss many greens. If you want to make a bowling analogy, Cole would be Mark Roth. And Kyle would be Johnny Petraglia.
Okay.
Although Johnny Petraglia was left-handed, I think. He would be Earl Anthony.
Russell out into deep right center, and off the top of the padding, he missed a homer by about a foot. As it is, he's got his 5th hit in the series. Set a career high with 4 hits last night.
Wow, that was an impressive swing of the bat. When we talked last night about the fact that he's been doing good work the other way, a lot of times it's been tough pitches, just fighting them off, flipping them the other way, punching it through the infield, maybe a little flare to right field. This time he drives the ball the other way and almost knocks it out of here. That's pretty impressive. Not too many major league shortstops are going to be able to drive the ball that far to the opposite power alley.
That'll bring up Jason Hayward. Hitting 294. Russell's average, by the way, up to 299. After that double.
Yeah, Russell's strikeout rate down a good bit over last year, and the willingness, the ability to hit the ball the other way. And he's really trending in the right direction. Could end up putting up monster numbers this year.
Hayward has driven in 11 runs in the first 4 games of this trip. And that pitch is low.
Yeah, talk about trending in the right direction.
And batting with a lot of guys on base here lately. It's been a good combination. Cole can't get it, but Hansen will, and he throws it away. Here comes Russell. He will score, and the Pirates defense, as you mentioned, JD, really struggling to start the year, and the Cubs take advantage. It's 1-0.
Yeah, so 20 errors now on the season for the Pirates already. It's not just the errors. A lot of plays not made. There was a play in the outfield last night that probably should have been made.
Well, that's one of the easier plays for an infielder to make. Off balance throw, but he had all kinds of time. No RBI, error on Hansen. Digging in now is Wilson Contreras.
Running game in play for the Cubs tonight.
Swing and a miss on a slider.
Cervelli's only caught 1 out of 14 this year, and was caught maybe 7% last year, something like that. Way down there.
Pitcher Hendricks on deck.
Contreras can handle that good gas. You can get the head out on one of these Cole fastballs.
Cole 6'4", 225. A kick and a pitch, tapped foul. 1-2.
Wilson 3 out of 10 on the road trip with a home run, a double. He's driven in 4. Cubs catching situation looking awfully good these days, the way Miguel Montero has been swinging the bat.
According to Fangraphs, Garrett Cole's fastball velocity averages 96.4 miles an hour. Third highest among all qualifying pitchers. Noah Syndergaard is 98.1. Luis Severino of the Yankees 96.8. Fourth on the list, Willie Peralta of the Brewers. You know, Noah Syndergaard's average slider velocity is 92.2 miles an hour. As Contreras chased one in the dirt.
Yeah, he's got pretty good changeup too, does Thor.
Fourth strikeout for Cole, and it will bring up Hendricks.
Yeah, I think, you know, a lot of hitters coming into a game against a guy like Garrett Cole, their mindset is, I'm just going to look for that first good fastball early and take a whack at it, because if you fall behind, then you have to contemplate that slider, and if you're thinking slider, you're not going to get to 98.
Strike called on Kyle.
The great Henry Aaron, he said that he looked for a breaking ball his entire career, because he did not believe the pitcher could throw a fastball by him. So he would just look for the breaking ball and react to the heater. I don't know if that approach would play in the game now with all the velocity. I mean, not to take anything away from one of the greatest of all time, but weren't many guys throwing 98 back in the day.
Swing and a miss. Cole set at the belt. 1-2 outside on a curve. And he struck him out. That's 5 for Cole, but the Cubs get an unearned run and lead 1-0 early. Madden, log on to WGNTV.com right now. Click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner and connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and info while watching at home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escape, pools, patio furniture, hot tubs, and more. Everything you need to have more fun at home this summer.
Hey, there's Ringo Starr.
Peace and love. Peace and love. Please stop sending me letters. I'm too busy. Peace and love. Breaking ball strike. Francisco Cervelli.
That guy, that security guy, he's a hybrid of Ringo Starr and Wayne Messmer.
Good call. Mentioned earlier, tough night for the Pirates catcher last night. 0 for 4, committed 2 errors and took a backswing off the wrist.
Yeah, and his starting pitcher really struggled. Balls in the dirt, bouncing up off his grill all night long. Chased one to the backstop and tag play at home plate, got the ball knocked out of his hand. He had 2 home runs this year, which is 1 more than he had all last year. He's been a guy who hits for a decent average and works pretty high on base percentage. As a matter of fact, since the start of the 2014 season, his .364 on base percentage, second among Major League Baseball catchers behind Buster Posey.
He has run it full, 3-2. Speaking of on-base skills, he's on with nobody out.
Yeah, you can see a little frustration in Hendricks after that pitch. Both walks, were bad misses. He's usually always around the plate. If he's missing, it's just off the edge. He's still fighting it a little bit here. Jaso, throughout his career, has been a guy who hits the ball on the ground a lot. So double plays in order. We'll see if Clint Hurdle plays a little hit and run here just to stay out of a double play.
Another bad miss on John Jaso. Began the year 0 for 18. Finally got his first hit of the season last Wednesday. He's playing right. Curve outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Cubs got an unearned run in the top of this second inning. There it is. High fly deep to right. Hayward on the warning track, has room, and the wind might have helped Kyle as it is blowing in tonight. Jaso just got under it.
Yeah, off the bat, boy, it looked like it was going to fly out of here, but yeah, maybe a little too much air underneath and maybe a little helping breeze for Hendricks. And after the walk to Cervelli, he's 2-0 on Jaso, so he's basically at the mercy of the count. And he said, I got to just throw one in there, throw him a cookie, see how far he can hit it, and hope for the best.
So now the shortstop Mercer, batting in the 7th position, shows bunt with Bryant back and takes ball 1. Mercer, 30 years old. Not due to be a free agent until after next season. Still has 1 more year of arbitration eligibility. Lester Strode, the acting pitching coach for the remainder of this trip. Chris Bosio is away from the team due to a personal matter. as Mercer fouls away. It's 1-2. Mercer, a career .255 hitter. Never really been known for his bat. Brett Anderson got a ton of run support last night. Technically a quality start, 6 innings, 3 runs, 1 earned, but he walked 6. There's a base hit. Zobrist can't get it. And the Pirates have 2 on. That is their first hit of the night.
Well, Hendricks, like Anderson, the thing you watch for is the percentage of balls on the ground. And Anderson early in the ball game last night really struggled with his command. And so he was walking people. They were hitting the ball in the air. He was able to pitch around some traffic. It was a weird night because he went, about the 3rd through the 5th. There was a stretch here about 10, 11 batters where all of a sudden he was getting a little bit better rhythm and was getting a lot of balls on the ground.
Was he a great post-game quote? Brett, as self-deprecating as anyone you'll find in the game today. He said, I've had 4 starts and 5 or 6 medical visits to the mound.
Yeah, he had an eventful night out there. He had to kind of went sniper there and had to duck to avoid getting hit in the forehead with a Rizzo throw. He fielded a comebacker with a bare hand. Had another one hit off his hand. This is the one that he said this is going to be on all the top 10 highlight shows. Watch. Kind of remind me of Belushi in Animal House.
A little bit,
a little
yeah.
hot. W's a W.
2-1 on Hansen. 24-year-old super utility man.
When you hear Hansen, do you think Hansen Brothers is in hockey or Mbop?
Kind of both, I guess. Well, I say super utility. He's a middle infielder. I guess super utility would be more of the
Zobrist, Harrison, Baez.
Yeah, now he can't play the outfield in a pinch, but swing and a miss. It's 2-2. Just don't want to throw around the word super too casually, with all due respect. Right, and so does super mean really good? Or
I don't know.
The ability to do more.
We're going to have to officially define that term.
Quantity or quality?
The commissioner's here. We should get him up here and ask him to define that for us.
Well, the Pirates, so far in the early going, they've not gone off the plate very much with 2 strikes. Bell with a really good at bat in the first inning. Turned that into a walk. Cervelli leading off this second inning, and now Hansen.
They've got some patient hitters. Now Hansen hasn't walked yet this year, so he's one of those guys that ultimately is probably going to swing.
And he still hasn't walked as he fouls out to Bryant. Did he swing at ball 4? Looked like it.
But it was a much better pitch than the Bell pitch and the Cervelli pitch. The 2 walks.
That change-up grip.
And
it might have been.
Yeah, it's on the plate, and the question is, would it have been high enough or not? But that's the kind of pitch you're used to seeing from Kyle. The old, not give in, but it's going to be in the neighborhood, and he's going to get guys hacking.
Call the ground ball to Russell. We'll get it to Zobrist in plenty of time. The Pirates strand 2. It's 1-zip. Cubs after 2. for the Subway third inning triple play promotion. Text Subway to 97999 right now. And the 300th texter will get a $30 gift card to a Subway restaurant in the Chicagoland area. Subway restaurants, foot long of the day. So I'm looking at the forecast. It says it's going to hit 80 tomorrow here in Pittsburgh. But we've been in the 50s both nights so far. So we think it's going to warm up tomorrow. But we'll wait and see. So very little, if any, rain on the forecast, and it's rained each of the first two nights.
What was Joe quoted as saying before the game, that this area of Pennsylvania was known more for their quarterbacks than their meteorologists?
Now, I think there are some meteorologists who would say this will be a great place to work because of the unpredictability of the weather.
Be easy to do that gig in San Diego.
Right. Albert Almora Jr. takes a strike. Playing center and batting ninth. 1 for 10 on the trip. And he doubled last night, scored the game-winning run in extra innings on Friday in Cincinnati. Cubs are 6-1 when he gets the starting assignment in center. Easy fly ball out toward Polanco.
Come out and show your support of your world champion Chicago Cubs. Tickets are still available for games in May, especially for the weekday matchups with the Phillies, Reds, and Giants. Get your tickets now at Cubs.com.
Schwarber.
First pitch changeup.
And a river swing.
We need to see a chiropractor after that swing.
Oh, 0-2. Little low. Tough take, but he got the call. 1-2. Outside. Night game tomorrow, and then off to Boston for the weekend. 2-2 to Schwarber. That hit right off the end of the bat. And Cole able to pick it up and make the play. 2 outs. Speaking of the Cubs schedule, it is brought to you by Jeep. See your Jeep dealer today and experience the freedom that comes with legendary capability. Notice some interleague action the next 2 weekends, Fenway Park and then Wrigley Field next weekend against the Yankees. Starlin Castro will make his return to Wrigley Field. Bryant in the air to center. McCutchen. And the Cubs go quietly in the third, leading the Pirates 1-0. Combination. State Farm here to help life go right. The Cubs have won 7 consecutive road series dating back to September of last season. Take wins wherever you can get them, but always nice to win on the road, as Harrison had to scoot out of the way, which leads me right into my note of the night on Josh Harrison. Earlier this season, he had a stretch of 4 plate appearances in which he was hit by a pitch in all 4. A couple of times at Wrigley Field.
That might be a record.
Well, it's the first time that it ever happened. 4 consecutive plate appearances ending in a hit by pitch.
He doesn't walk much. He likes to go up there and swing it.
Now he's doing it to himself.
These two-seamers got good run moving in on him, and I think there was a chance that ball was going to hit him. If he didn't swing at it, then he fouled it off his leg anyway. Kind of drifts out to cover the outside corner, so he's vulnerable to being hit by a pitch.
Cool wristband, or forearm band in this case. Hendricks ready, and a 1-2 bounces. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bell and McCutchen to follow. Just pokes that one on the ground past a diving Zobrist into right.
Normally for Kyle Hendricks start, Javi Baez would be out there, but Baez really struggling with the bat of late. Zobrist has started to heat up a little bit, so a little bit of a trade-off for Baez with better range than Ben. Probably would have had that ball.
Here's Bell. He walked in the first inning. 65th major league game. See that front foot almost touching the outside chalk line. Takes up a lot of the batter's box.
A big, strong kid. One of the reasons why the Pirates farm system really highly regarded coming into this season. Now, he had a little big league time last year. Still enjoys rookie status.
Big major league debut weekend against the Cubs last July. He's from Dallas. Now the pitch on the outside corner.
Starting to find that release point. Got Harrison to hit it on the ground. Perfect pitch, bottom of the knees on the edge.
The throw to first. Oh, I see. The Pirate Parrot trying to convert that young Cub fan. Not going to work. There goes Harrison. The pitch is outside. The throw by Contreras in time.
The Contreras look. This is not on my watch.
Time for the Giga Time high-speed replay powered by Xfinity. Giga Time high-speed replay powered by Xfinity, the future of awesome. Zobrist will come in and make the play.
The MLB.com ballpark app is your free, secure, and convenient way to instantly access Cubs tickets via your mobile device. Download the app at the App Store or Google Play and begin using Ballpark today. For more information, visit Cubs.com/ballpark app.
McCutchen takes a strike. Lifelong Pirate to this point, 9th season. An All-Star every year from 2011 through 2015. MVP 2013. Shallow center. It's Almora. Hendricks gets some help from his catcher as they erase that leadoff single. 1-0 Cubs. Wendy's, where the quarter-pound double stack is an option in the 4 for $4 at participating Wendy's for a limited time. The Allegheny River separating this ballpark from downtown Pittsburgh.
See that fine young lady in the pirate hat right there?
Yeah.
She's one of my heroes. It's my niece, Michaela.
Oh.
She goes to school here in town. She's had a kidney and liver transplant.
Wow.
Took place here in Pittsburgh at Children's Hospital, so she was living here for the better part of 2 years and decided to go to school here, and she's going to be a nurse.
Well, good for her. Got to get her a Cubs hat.
Yeah, they need to work on that.
One strike on Rizzo. You could probably
You hook her up.
Yeah. Rizzo high in the air and deep. McCutchen, edge of the track, makes the grab. Zobrist caught looking in the second. Outside corner and a strike. Cole was on the DL 3 times in a lost 2016 season. Left center. Polanco will cut it off. Cub fans, make sure you check out the Cubs blog at WGNTV.com. It is presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvuk.com or follow him on social media. Nationwide is on your side.
Yeah, obviously the Pirates are going to need Cole to stay healthy and be at the top of his game. Marte will be out for half a season. Got some young developing players.
Mercer will get Russell. Cole's been pretty good tonight, but he's trailing 1-0 on an unearned run. With Cubs checking and an official Cubs MasterCard debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Member FDIC. Great to have you with us from Pittsburgh. The Cubs blew out the Pirates 14-3 last night. Lead 1-0 on a second inning unearned run here tonight. Polanco tried to bunt, but it was a curveball and he bunted it foul. So what do the Pirates have in Gregory Polanco? Not sure if they quite know yet. He's only 22. He's played just over 400 major league games. He had 22 homers last season. Good speed. He'll take his walks. But, you know, the last couple of years we were talking about this outfield is maybe the best in baseball, at least the potential to be, with Polanco, Marte, and McCutchen. Well, McCutchen had worst year of his career last year. Now Marte suspended. So that conversation's kind of been put on hold.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about, Cole and the other young pitchers really having to step up, because still not sure exactly what you're going to get out of Polanco. You know that Marte is down for a while. Josh Bell, the first baseman, still settling in at the big league level.
1-2.
You know, I guess it could go either way, but it looks like the kind of club that could struggle to score runs, and we'll have to lean more heavily on the pitching staff.
I said 22. He's 25. He made his debut when he was 22 as he grounds out to Rizzo. And for good measure, he flips to Hendricks. Got our Bud fan cam coming up a little later on. If you'd like to send us your Cubs selfies, it's hashtag Bud Fridays on Twitter.
Yeah, you know, I've talked to hitting coaches, other baseball people over the years who said, you know, a big league hitter isn't fully ripened until he's had about 1,500 major league at bats, and that's right about where Polanco is in his career. So we'll see. I mean, and again, that's a theory, a philosophy that some people hold. I don't know if there's any merit to it.
Cervelli walked to lead off the second. No batting gloves, takes a curve. It's a strike. Dodgers dealing with some outfield injuries, so they brought up their top prospect, Cody Bellinger.
And the Giants just called up one of their top prospects yesterday.
Baseman.
Arroyo, Christian Arroyo, I believe is the name.
3-1. Have won 10 of their last 15 in this ballpark, dating back to September of 2015. That doesn't include the wild card win.
Seems to be that Kyle's a lot better feel for his delivery right now, more consistent with his location. The Pirates may lament the fact that they didn't get to him in that first couple of innings when he was searching a bit.
Pulled right to Bryant. So Cervelli lines out.
Relive the magic of last year's historic run with the official 2016 championship season Fly the W book. Features personal essays by Tom Ricketts, Theo Epstein, and others, as well as never before seen photos. For more information, visit Cubs.com/flythewbook.
Jay So with 2 outs. Flied to the warning track in right. His first time at the plate. First place Houston Astros have a 3-1 lead late in Cleveland. Astros at 13-6, leading the way in the American League West. Another one out of play.
Talked earlier about Jaso being a ground ball hitter. It looks to me like he's making a concerted effort to get the ball in the air. They've joined that new tribe of launch angle guys.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout for Hendricks. He carries a 1-0 lead to the 5th.
Kelly home field fact. Well, we got one for you. 14 runs scored by the Cubs last night, tied for the most at PNC Park in franchise history. Ryan Kelly, the homeloanexpert.com. 14 runs, 17 hits. Cubs averaging just under 9 per game over their last 6.
Hayward reached on an error. Pretty important play in this game. Alan Hansen had a pretty routine play to make, and he misfired on a short throw to first. That allowed Russell to score. And this is the play.
Hayward putting a little pressure, busting it down the line, and Hansen's throw not even close.
That's a strike. Now, you'd like to think process matters, and I think this entire organization has espoused that from day one when Theo took over. And it really feels like that process for Hayward, going back to post World Series, fix his swing, has been correct. I mean, he basically said, I'm going to go hang out in Arizona the whole offseason, work with my hitting coaches and figure this out. He didn't get discouraged in spring training, even though the numbers were ugly and some of the results were ugly. He just stayed with it.
Yeah,
and here we are.
Yeah, and that's why it was so important for him to get off to a good start, because at some point, had he not started to have some success, the frustration would have started to creep in, and who knows where it would have gone. But he's gotten off to a great start. He looks comfortable in the box, set himself up for a nice year.
2 quick outs. Well, I guess a happy birthday of sorts to the Chicago Cubs, White Stockings, Orphans. Yeah, it was 141 years ago today this franchise began play in the National League.
Al Spalding tossed the first shutout. He also recorded the first hit in franchise history. Al Spalding went on to be the co-founder of the Spalding Sporting Goods Store, the Spalding Guide. He wrote the first official rule book for baseball. Later became part owner. Quite the guy.
There were 8 original charter members of the NL, and only the Cubs have continuously operated in the same city since 1876. Hendricks strikes out. Cubs have gone down in order in every inning but that second.
ATI Physical Therapy and Ideal Industries. Young sluggers ages 5 to 13 have the chance to suit up in Cubs gear. Meet a current Cub player during a VIP Wrigley Field visit and receive top-notch baseball instruction. Enroll now at any of the 8 Chicagoland locations. Visit Cubs.com/kids for more information.
1-0. Pitchers have dominated the early storyline. Outside for a ball on Mercer, bottom of the order for the Pirates. That is caught by Bryant. 1 out now, Hansen. Years ago today, Rick Monday saved the American flag. He was a Cub at the time. It was at Dodger Stadium. A couple of fans were going to light the flag on fire. 2 years later on this date, the Philly Fanatic
was born
or
rolled out,
made its debut. One and one on Hansen.
There's the racing pierogies. We're going to do a little change up. No, they're going to go in. Now he's got options. Change up away, can double up inside, try to jam him and pop him up. A little sink piece is what they're going with.
Fly the other way. That's Schwarber. He's got it. Take home a game used or autographed item and help benefit Cubs charities. Cubs Authentics is the premier outlet for all MLB authenticated Cubs memorabilia. Cubs will donate net proceeds from the sale of Cubs Authentics to Cubs charities. Visit Cubs.com/authentics today. Ground ball towards center and through. Garrett Cole with the Pirates' third hit.
His first of the year. This guy can handle the bat a little bit. It's the professor being smart. He's going to make him run the bases. We'll wear him out a little bit.
So a 2-out base runner. And now it's Harrison. Well, every game has its own character, and this one is so different from the one we watched last night. Cubs knocked Chad Kuhl out of the game in the second inning. They had 9 runs in the first 2 innings.
This is one where the managers just sit back, watch their pitchers work, and contemplate the late innings of the game. So they have to ruminate as to how they're going to use their bullpen. Pirates made a roster move today. They put Antonio Bastardo, who's really struggled, put him on the DL. Called up Johnny Barbado from their AAA club, right-handed reliever.
By the way, significant of nothing other than my bizarre mind, but we have already seen in this series on the mound a Kuhl, a Cole, and a Kyle.
Kind of hoping for a Kale, huh?
Zobrist in shallow right, and it'll be Hayward behind him. Hendricks shutting him out through 5. by Meyer. True Chicago fans. One to nothing. The Cubs have the lead.
It's efficient. One hit, one run. Good enough for the lead. Oh, young man.
The Cubs will have 9, 1 and 2. That's Almora, Schwarber, and Bryant against Garrett Cole.
Just 52 pitches made against a guy like Cole. Sometimes you can push the pitch count. He's not really a pitch to contact guy. He's looking for swings and misses. So especially with this Cubs lineup, you anticipate a game where maybe you have a lot of deep counts. Get him into a little bit of an issue with his pitch count, but that is not going to be the case here tonight.
As we start the 6th, time to check out our Lexus Run Predictor, brought to you by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer. Percentages to get a run to start an inning. Bunted and caught. Cervelli retires Almora. A couple of AAA Iowa Cub notes. Taylor Davis, who had an impressive spring, has a 35-game on-base streak dating back to last year. It's the longest for an I-Cub since 2009. And Tommy La Stella, who recently was activated off the bereavement list and optioned to Iowa, off to a good start there. 6 for 16. So at least getting some good quality playing time for La Stella, who I'm sure will be back with the Cubs not too far down the road. Fouled away by Schwarber.
Yeah, Tommy just getting caught up in the numbers game right now. Joe wants to carry an extra guy in the bullpen. Matt Caesar's out of option, so you can't send him out without exposing him through waivers. Stella definitely a big league hitter.
.99, little extra on that fastball from Cole.
He is bringing the noise and the funk tonight.
Noise with a Z. Wow. You won't see Schwarber take a swing like that very often.
Oh, well, you remember Schwarber's last at bat, he started him with the changeup. This at bat, he started him with the slider. So everything's in play in the hitter's mind. So he's kind of in protect mode, and then a little emergency hack at 98, just trying to foul it off to stay alive. Reminiscent of Joey Votto. You know, when you got to contemplate or be aware of the off-speed pitch, and you just take that little late emergency hack.
You referenced Garrett Cole's success against the Cubs. This is his 13th career start. He's 9-2 with an ERA of 3, including a win at Wrigley Field this year. This might be the best we've seen him against the Cubs so far tonight.
Yeah, he had a real good one at Wrigley. It was last summer or the year before. This is the guy that won, reminiscent of the guy that won 19 ball games and was an all-star a couple of years back.
It's also interesting, the pitch count is low. We go back to Sunday against Bronson Arroyo. The results have been somewhat similar, but it's looked a lot different in how he's gotten here, right?
Oh, yeah. Arroyo was just kind of baffling. Slow curve balls and little sinkers and changeups. Cole just dominant, overpowering stuff.
And yet he finds himself down 1-0. Updating our Lexus Run Predictor. So Cubs were at 30% to start an inning, now down to 10% with 2 gone and nobody on. That's a strike. 3-2.
course, that's all situations with 2 out, nobody on. Got to figure the odds are a little bit higher when Bryant's in the batter's box and Rizzo's on deck.
Pirates shift to the left on the infield against Kyle. Toward the middle. Diving stop Hansen. No play.
Heck of a play here by Hansen, but not going to throw out Bryant on that.
Rizzo 0 for 2.
Yeah, the 9 wins for Cole against the Cubs, trailing only Bronson Arroyo and Adam Wainwright in terms of active pitchers and wins against the Cubs, and they've both had way more starts, like 20 more starts against them than he has.
Cole has the sign from Cervelli, setting up off the inside corner, and the throw goes to first.
And Cole, like Wainwright, has been a lot better against the Cubs at Wrigley than he has here in his home ballpark. And normally when Rizzo's in the batter's box, you're not thinking about running early in the count because of his ability to do damage. But as good as Cole has been here tonight, the thinking may be, let's try to get into scoring position as soon as possible. Get a chance to score on a single.
Changeup nudged foul. Kyle Hendricks has been terrific, and the Cubs have needed him to be that against Cole so far tonight. 1-0 in the 6th.
I'd really be tempted to run now.
Two outs and 2 strikes. Cole wants to chat with Cervelli.
Yeah, the thinking being, you know, if you run here and you get thrown out, then you've got Rizzo starting all over with a fresh count in the top of the 7th. Just look at the numbers, what hitters do once they're down in the count. 2 strikes. Even for a guy with Rizzo's pedigree, those are usually not impressive numbers.
There goes Bryant. The pitch is dropped by Cervelli. It's a steal for Chris.
Kind of wasted the previous fastball off the outside corner, trying to set up a jam fastball in. Not close enough to get Rizzo to bite. Now with the base open, we'll see how aggressive they are with Anthony.
The kick and the 2-2 almost hit him. Let's see Anthony really try to get out of the way of inside pitches. He realizes he's going to get hit a lot, but when 98's coming at you, you get out of the way.
Yeah, and when 98's out there on the mound, you tend to be more aware of it and maybe don't lean quite as much. This is one of the great things about baseball and where fans can really dig in, because I'm sure Pirate fans are playing along with Clint Hurdle right now, and you know, Rizzo gets a base hit here and drives in a run. The second guessing will begin. Why didn't you just put him on? It's Anthony Rizzo. You got a base open.
Cole will get him. I'm not sure.
Why is he looking at third? He doesn't know how many outs there are.
Yeah, I don't think he realized there were 2 outs. He's that locked in, he doesn't know how many outs there are.
Is brought to you by Budweiser. Still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you.
One to nothing. Hendricks besting Cole into the bottom of the 6th. Pitch. Bell hooks it just foul. One upstairs for a ball. Bell was late. 86. We're thinking he might get a changeup. 2-2. Really late. Call strike 3. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Great to have you with us from beautiful PNC Park. Cubs and Pirates in the middle game. Strike to McCutchen. He has flied to right and to center.
Coming into the start, Kyle Hendricks had thrown strike one 70% of the time. We're always near the top of the leaderboard in that. That has not been the case here tonight. Working from behind, especially early.
Zobrist has some time.
How do you get to Wrigley Field? The Cubs suggest taking public transportation. They offer a free bike check that's located by the Addison Red Line station. And Zobrist rides his bike to the ballpark on occasion. If you drive, the Cubs provide free remote parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games. For information, visit the A to Z guide at Cubs.com. Remember last year, Ben rode to the ballpark in his uniform one day.
Yeah, he said he was going to do it, and he did it. Polanco swats one out into left center. Not a lot of hard contact against Kyle, but that one was thumped.
Yeah, Polanco hit that bullet to first base back in the first inning, lined out to Rizzo. He's seen it pretty well tonight. Ball had some jump on it.
Breaking ball. Top of the zone. Cervelli said no. It looked all right on.
Yeah,
on the graphic.
Somebody as a catcher, you just want to make sure you wait on that ball. You don't want to reach out for it. Let it come to you. Caught stealing by Contreras earlier in the game may give the Pirates pause. Polanco is a stolen base candidate, 4 out of 5 so far this year.
Looks like Kyle might be throwing to first.
How tall is Polanco? Like he had a couple inches on Anthony. Maybe he was standing on the base.
He's listed at 6'5". So, yeah. He's in Chris Bryant territory. Leaning.
Leaning. Needed all that 6'5" length to get back to the bag in time.
Number 20 of 162, and the Cubs hope plenty more than just that in 2017. Jumped into first place over the weekend in Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's funny when you think the progression, right? There's a period where you're just hoping, and then it becomes the kind of the stated goal to be playing meaningful games in September. And then you kind of move beyond that. You want to be playing meaningful games in October. Now the Cubs are at a point like, if we don't win the whole shooting match, it's going to be a disappointment.
Yeah. It's a good place to be. And the Pirates, after a recent run of success, are trying to get back into that conversation after a terribly disappointing 2016. They went 78 and 83 last year. Win total decreased by 20. They had gone to 3 consecutive postseasons prior to that, all as a wild card. Man on, 2 down. Another throw to first.
If Kyle can dispatch Cervelli here, he may have one more inning in him. Getting close to 100 pitches, but if he gets Cervelli, they'll be down near the bottom of the order. Joe may opt to run him back out there for the 7th.
Polanco got a good jump. Pitches inside, and it's now 3-2. Tying run is then an outfield hit of scoring.
Yeah, Polanco worked hard for that one. You know, Hendricks was going over, varying his tempo, doing everything he could to upset his rhythm as a base runner, but he got a heck of a jump.
And Cervelli has worked his way back into this thing after an 0-2 start.
Polanco out there at second base, just the second Pirate base runner to reach scoring position tonight. So a little conversation to make sure they're on the same page in terms of the signs and also what they want to do here in this big 3-2 pitch.
We've seen encouraging signs in terms of the velocity tonight, and that separation Joe talked about. Swing and a miss. Hendricks hitting 88 on his fastball, and he gets Cervelli to end the inning. Camp brought to you by Bud Fridays. That's Clarence with owner operator, our Bud fan cam for this Tuesday night in Pittsburgh. Kyle Hendricks is looking for a good one tonight. Man, has he ever been good as he chats with Mike Borzello. Wouldn't mind a little more run support. Zobrist will lead it off here in the 7th. The low call.
Ron Culpa falling in line with these starting pitchers here tonight. Everybody making it tough on the hitters.
Here comes a 1-1. Popped up off of third. Harrison over near the tarp. 1 out.
Let's take a look at the Ford drive of the game. Happened with 1 out in the second inning. Addison Russell had a 4-hit game yesterday. Took a little slide piece and just rode it off the wall in deep right center. Almost left the ballpark. Came around to score the game's only run. Ford inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com.
On strike to Russell. Reds and Brewers tonight in Milwaukee. Scott Feldman, Zach Davies. It's 1-0 Brewers in the fourth. Eric Thames has not homered tonight. What has he hit? 7 against the Reds?
Yeah, he's got 10 on the year, 7 against Cincinnati.
Oh, 2 is outside. Koji Uehara up for the Cubs. Swing and a miss. He got him. Cole with his 8th strikeout against 0 walks. Here's Hayward. Cardinals are hosting the Blue Jays this week. Marco Estrada and Michael Wacha tonight. 1-0 St. Louis in the third. Cardinals playing better as of late. Hanson, nice play from his knees. He'll get Hayward. And the Cubs done in the 7th. They'll stretch. It is 1-0. Kyle Hendricks with a gem. He's been a little better than Garrett Cole. 1-0. Bottom of the 7th. Great deals are waiting for you now at your local Honda dealer. And as you see in the background, the Cubs are going to turn it over to their bullpen. These final 9 outs, leading 1-0.
Yeah, high leverage situations now for the bullpen, trying to hang on to this 1-0 lead. Kyle Hendricks in pursuit of his 2nd win of the year. First man out of the chute is Koji Uehara. He's had a couple days off. He's working for the 10th time, and he's been effective, pitching to a 2.35 ERA. Pretty well rested bullpen. Justin Grimm probably not available. He worked a couple innings last night. Brian Dunsing worked an inning. Uehara's pitched scoreless baseball in all but one of his outings.
His first pitch to Jaso is a strike. That's a fastball. Tailing action at 87. Jaso began his big league career playing for Joe Madden in Tampa Bay. Came up as a catcher. Then mostly a DH. He's played first and now some outfield with the Pirates, and he hooks one into the corner. Hayward, nice play, but no chance to get him. Jason made a nice barehanded play on the carom, but Jaso easily into second with a leadoff double.
I can make no assumptions when you're trying to run on Jason Hayward. Jaso did not. So it's a leadoff double. This is rare too. Look how high that pitch is. I mean, it looks like he's playing slow pitch softball.
Chopped that one off the high tree branch.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, you know, with Uehara, we talk a lot about that invisible, that deceptive four-seamer he throws up in the zone where he gets so many swings and misses. Very rare to see anybody make good contact up there against any pitcher, especially a guy like Uehara.
Cornerman pulled way in, expecting Mercer to try to bunt. Not showing, and takes a strike on the inside. Single in the second. Pop out to third in the fifth. Pirates have some action in their bullpen. Cole's spot coming up shortly. High. Cole, by the way, has only thrown 78 pitches through his 7 innings. You know it'll pain Clint Hurdle to have to take him out if it gets to that point, but he may not have a choice with his team currently trailing by a run. I mean, if we were in the American League tonight, JD, this looks like 9-inning complete game written all over it. But
yeah, and
that's how it works in the NL.
No, and you know, depending on the base out situation, you'd be justified leaving him in the game too. I mean, just think about the math. You know what pinch hitters do typically. You don't know what matchup you're going to get if you decide to pinch hit. Still got a couple more cracks at it. I'd be tempted to leave him in there, regardless.
You were telling me last year, I think you were listening to an old radio broadcast from 1969, the first year of the Expos, and wasn't there a starting pitcher who took an at bat like in the 7th or 8th, trailing by a couple of runs?
Oh yeah,
that was very common back then.
It was like 5-3 game.
You never ever see that now.
Well, most bullpens didn't have the firepower that they have now. Back in the day, the bullpens were the guys that weren't good enough to be starters.
Still 1-2.
And if it was your ace out there, even if he was having a rough game, the managers usually made the determination. I still like his chances of getting the final 6 or 9 outs than what I've got out there in the bullpen. And you know, that might be a consideration for Hurdle here tonight. Not likely. Another one guy, Larry Dierker, used to do that. Dierker on occasion would leave his starter. You know, if it was 1-0 game, if he was down, he'd let him take that at bat. If his team still had a couple cracks at it.
Good battle here. Another 1-2 and another foul. So Hansen on deck, then Cole spot.
And of course, Larry Dierker was a starting pitcher in the 60s and 70s, so that's kind of the baseball he was raised on. And the other part of it is Cole, he already has a base hit tonight. He's not an automatic out at the plate.
Another 1-2.
Also listening to one of those old-time broadcasts, and I can't remember who it was, if it was Bob Murphy or one of the Met guys, referred to a relief pitcher as the chubby right-hander. You don't hear that anymore either.
No, you don't. Mercer in the air to left. Schwarber, as Jason's going to tag, and a little slip by Kyle as he was flat-footed, and that'll allow Jason to get to third. A smart base running by Jason as he's able to tag on that deep fly out to left.
Now, there are very few ballparks in the league where a fly ball to left is going to allow a base runner to tag and move from second to third. This one, Coors Field, those are the two that come to mind. So even if Kyle had gotten behind that and had some momentum and didn't slip, Jason probably still advances.
Jose Osuna is on deck for Cole. The Cubs have brought their infield in against Alan Hansen. 1-0, but the Pirates with their biggest threat. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, this is a very favorable matchup for Uehara. We talked about Hansen being a guy who has not walked yet this year. He doesn't have a ton of plate appearances, but he likes to swing it, and Uehara can really take advantage of a free swinging lefty with that split finger pitch.
And for that reason, the Cubs, I'm sure, are on high alert for a possible bunt. Oh, and 2. Okay, so now if you throw 4 pitches well out of the zone, what are the odds he won't swing at one of them?
Right. Yeah, I think you don't give in here. I think it's elevated fastballs and splitters down.
You just have to be able to block a pitch in the dirt.
That was a pretty big swing for Hansen too in this situation. Probably should have been more focused on just making a little contact with the infield in.
Way outside, 1-2.
Seems to be going in a little bit of a 2-strike mode. We'll spread out, crouching.
Swing and a miss. 2 gone.
It was a fairly predictable outcome of that combination. Good work by Uehara. Nasty.
It is Osuna for Cole.
Hansen's not going to sleep well tonight if the Pirates don't come back. Critical error and a big opportunity with a man on third. Couldn't get it done.
So Cole done after 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 unearned run, and for now would get the loss.
Yeah, and I know I'm in the minority, but I probably would have let him take the at bat. I know I'm in the minority.
Yeah, I can't think of a manager currently who would probably let his starter hit in the 7th trailing these days. Not that you're wrong. It's just not the prevailing attitude.
Right.
And this is also the book play, right? You're not going to get second guessed by anybody.
Right. And I think sometimes managers too are waiting to see if a guy's going to fight for that, if he's going to lobby for that at bat.
1-1. Off the end of the bat, and it'll hold up for Almora. Uehara gets out of it after the leadoff double by Jay, so they do not score. Player of the game, Kyle Hendricks, last year's ERA leader with his best outing to date. Wrap your hands around the original Italian beef of the Chicago Cubs at one of the 19 Bona locations.
I say it so often, pitcher, if you don't get him early, you're going to really have a hard time getting to him at all. And Kyle seemed a little vulnerable at the start of the ball game. Got a little help from his defense, then he settled in. Pass the baton to the bullpen. We are getting a hug from acting pitching coach Lester Strode.
Well, this would be a huge win to get as well against Garrett Cole in one of his better outings. Juan Nicasio. Strike on Contreras.
You're going to see mostly fastballs and slide balls from the veteran right-hander. Mid-90s heater. Been on the big league scene since 2011 when he came up with the Rockies. 9th appearance, 1-2 with a 368.
Struck out at least one hitter in a club record 33 consecutive games in relief last year between July 2nd and September 25th.
He was in the rotation for a while. He made 12 starts for the Pirates last year, but struggled in that role, did better out of the pen.
Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. From the wind. 2-2. John Jay on deck to bat for Uehara. Hector Rondon getting ready for the bottom of the 8th with acting bullpen coach Henry Blanco looking on. Three and two.
A little out of whack with his delivery there.
Look out, John Jay. Contreras with a very late emergency swing. Almost nailed the on deck hitter. Tigers crushing the Mariners tonight 14-4 in the 5th inning in Detroit. Ball 4. First walk taken by the Cubs tonight. 16-4 Detroit. Ian Kinsler has 4 hits from the leadoff spot. Yeah, you nailed it. It's Ringo meets Wayne Messmer.
Yeah.
Telling the Cubs to act naturally.
Butt him over and let him swing. Play a little hit and run. Nicasio gets a lot of swings and misses. Jay better than 280 lifetime in the pinch.
Felix Hernandez started that game for the Mariners in Detroit. He only went 2 innings tonight.
A lot of people bullish on that Seattle team coming into the season. They are 8-12 currently, last place in the AL West. Like the Nicasio was doing that mannequin thing out there.
Ready to resume.
Talked about the good credentials of John Jay as a pinch hitter, so you know, it's all the big arms in Major League bullpens these days. Kind of a short, compact stroke, and to cover the strike zone well. Be willing to sacrifice power for contact. Similar skill set that Tommy La Stella possesses. These guys are valuable, man. You're trying to win games late. When pitchers out there throwing 98 miles an hour. Sure, you like to have that guy come off the bench and hit one in the seats for you, but how often does that happen? Nicasio does have a changeup, but he rarely uses it.
Everything up in the zone.
Yeah, I thought maybe they would try to bury a slider down and in. All those elevated fastballs, trying to throw one towards his back foot.
Contreras walked to start the inning.
Cubs have had 2 hits tonight, a reach on an error and the walk. That's it in terms of base runners. It's the old adage about good pitching stopping good hitting. Cubs have been on a roll. 14 runs on 17 hits last night.
Contreras might be watching David Ross a lot on Dancing with the Stars.
He's a
quick feet.
Yeah, he's a cat is what he is. Bouncing around, frisky. It's a nice at-bat John Jay's having here.
Hasn't gotten into swing mode. He's fought off some tough pitches, but not just swinging at everything. 2-2.
Outside's the second thing to go. Come on, Jay, right here,
3-2.
Nicasio frustrated, but his pitches are out of the zone.
all day, man, all day. Have a deep breath, Ron. And open your eyes this time. Cheat the kids, Ron. Cheat the kids.
See if Contreras is on the move here on what will be the 10th pitch to Jay. There he goes, and a foul.
Of course. Yeah, and Nicasio, and a lot of these guys, these late inning guys that throw really hard, they don't really have it. It's not in their DNA, but as Greg Maddux used to call it, that give up pitch, where you just throw it over the plate with some action. Just let's get the ball put in play here and move along.
Cubs lead late 1-0. Unearned run in the second. That's been it. Good lead by Contreras.
Feels like this at bat has taken longer than the previous 7 innings.
It has been longer than a couple of innings for sure. When Cole and Hendricks were rolling along. Contreras running, swing and a miss. Out at second, double play.
A heck of a battle by John J. Nicasio. Ultimately wins the battle with a good slider. After all those fastballs, he had tried a couple sliders in the sequence, but this one well placed. Jay pulls off just a little bit, and Cervelli catches his second base runner, base stealer of the year.
And I'll leave it up to Almora. Swing and a miss. There, I'm sure, will be a casual baseball fan along the way who will think his name is Al. The last name is Mora. No, it's Albert Almora as Harrison throws him out.
No relation to Melvin?
Right. 1-0 Cubs in the 8th.
It's better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackouts and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Bottom of the 8th. 1-0. It is right-hander Hector Rondon, 29-year-old. 6'3", 230 pounds. Cubs debut, major league debut in 2013 after being a Rule 5 pick from Cleveland. 77 career saves, and he's setting up tonight for Wade Davis.
Had some injury issues last year and really struggled in spring training. There's a lot of focus on that, but he's gotten off to a great start here this year.
Through a side session in the bullpen before the game. 1-0 on Harrison.
Yeah,
it's 1 for 3.
Looks like he's changed or worked on the shape of his breaking ball a little bit. His slider at times he makes it a little bigger, a little softer, and you can find the strike zone with it. It's kind of become a go-to pitch for him, that first pitch. Get over slide ball.
Ready for a 1-1. Sharply hit on the ground. Diving stop. Chris Bryant. One away.
Play the game, big man. Even with the bag up on the balls of the feet, ready to react. The throw is true. The out recorded.
I'm assuming, I probably shouldn't, that Chris will have his parents at Fenway Park this weekend. His dad was a Red Sox minor leaguer. I'm sure Mike When Chris was young, dreamed of his son hitting one over the green monster. And he'll get that opportunity Friday night. Awkward swing by Bell. One and two. Rule 5 guys can be hit or miss. Wasn't Johan Santana a Rule 5 at one point?
Yeah, the Twins took him out of the Astros organization. He was an A-ball teammate of Roy Oswalt.
Never quite sure what you're going to get. It has to be the right situation for a guy to stay on the big league roster. The Cubs were able to keep Rondon, and he didn't pitch a whole lot early on. Dale Swaim was the manager, and I remember that first year in September. That's when Hector started to pitch a little bit more often, and you could see there was something there. And it's turned into one of the better Rule 5 picks, certainly in recent Cubs history. The 2-2 called strike 3 as Bell fans, and let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Bottom of the 8th. Rivero and Watson in the Pirates bullpen. McCutchen takes a slider low and away.
Watson if they score, Rivero if they don't. Would have to assume.
Rondon has won these matchups so far with McCutchen. Two and two.
Boy, good pitch. You got to commit. A dangerous guy like McCutchen in there. You see a lot of times when asked to throw an inside fastball, pitchers will get a little gun shy and they'll cut it off. And he powered that one through there. Puts you away from damage here. And a 1-run lead with a dangerous hitter.
John Lackey on the right, Brandon Hyde on the left. He walked him. So it's Polanco with McCutchen aboard and 2 outs. McCutchen at one time was good for 25 to 30 steals. Last year he was just 6 out of 13. Only one attempt so far this season.
Yeah, you know, a couple of years ago, the word was they told him to back off the running game, save his legs. They valued his bat in the lineup every day, playing center field. Just didn't want him to get beat up. But I know I was reading a story on him this offseason. He talked about wanting to step up that part of his game again this year.
Not going. Ball one.
Blancos had the best swings tonight. Lined out first time up. And then last one into left center for a solid single last time.
Decent lead by McCutchen. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Cold night, but Rondon working up a good sweat, trying to get out of this 8th inning. Looks like Carl Edwards Jr. is up just in case. Rondon comes set. 2-1. Misses in a pretty similar spot. All on fastballs. 3-1. Is that by design, the location, or just not finishing?
Just missing that outside corner. Doesn't want to give in.
Hayward's got it to end the inning. We go to the 9th. It's still 1-0 Cubs.
James Taylor returns to Wrigley Field on Monday, July 17th, with special guest Bonnie Raitt. Don't miss your chance to see this Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. Tickets are available now at Cubs.com/James Taylor. This is Felipe Rivero, the hard-throwing left-hander, former Washington National. 12 ball games. He has been lights out. 077. Got that whip below 1. Slurvy breaking ball there. He can light up the radar gun with his fastball. Has a good changeup.
Two strikes on Schwarber.
Looked like difficult for a left-handed hitter.
Hey Jay, hey player, this is the leadoff guy. Fast wheels.
Wade Davis scheduled to face Cervelli, Jaso, and Mercer. And he gets him.
Attaboy, Bell, way to squeeze
A rare night where Schwarber does not reach at least once. That worked over pretty good by Rivero right there. It was pretty good stuff.
If not for a pretty bad error, this game would be scoreless. Cubs taking advantage of an Allen Hansen misfire in the second. 1-0 to Bryant is low.
I like it. I like it. We got the doo-doo factor.
Two and one. Rizzo next. Trying to give their closer a little extra cushion. Changeup missed outside. 3-1.
Yeah, let's see if he comes back in and challenges with a fastball like he did on 2-0, because Bryant had a pretty good whack at that one. We're going to throw changeup.
And he walked him.
Pretty good work there. That'll get you an A in the school art fair.
Rizzo without a hit in the series. He did reach on walks twice last night. Short lead by Bryant. And Rivero's pitch. Right down the middle. Clearly the Pirates pitchers have been told with runners on base to really slow it down and vary the times to the plate.
Yeah, they worked on that this spring, not only to holding base runners, but also with an eye towards upsetting the rhythm of the hitters too. So even with nobody on base, they worked on different timing patterns as to their release points home. Certainly understand it with Cervelli's struggles throwing out base stealers last year, that they would try everything they could to tighten that up.
Bryant takes off. Ground ball to second. It's Hansen to get Rizzo. Runner at second, 2 outs, and here comes Zobrist. And we'll see if Joe in the bottom of the 9th inserts Baez for defense. A lot of times we've seen Joe take Schwarber out, move Zobrist to the outfield, and Baez goes in at second.
Yeah, you can see Javi there stretching his legs a little bit.
Like he was working on his delivery to the plate. Pitchers want to hit, position players want to pitch. Zobrist from the right side fouls back. He had a big 3-run double early on last night to help break that game wide open. One pitch, popped him up. Shallow center. It's McCutchen, and we'll head to the bottom of the 9th. Wade Davis coming on in a 1-0 ball game. Base. Zobrist moves to left. Schwarber out. Wade Davis. We try to get these final 3 outs and get the Cubs a 1-0 win. They were involved in 3 1-0 games last season, and they came up short all 3 times.
Well, Davis has been outstanding. 9 appearances, a 0 ERA, 4 out of 4 in save opportunities. His last 4 appearances, 1 inning each time. He's faced the minimum of 3 batters each time. He's punched out 6 of the 12, 1 walk, no hits. Here's the sitch, Wade. Cervelli, Jaso, and Mercer between you and another save.
From the stretch, Davis to Cervelli. Breaking ball strike. That's the curve.
Front hip curveball. Hitter gives up on it. Curls right into the strike zone.
Another one. This one off the inside corner. Davis fastball, cutter, curve mainly. Had a slider, changeup as a starter. But as you have talked about, it's not just stuff. He pitches.
Yeah.
And he's got the arsenal to do so. The 2-1. Line shot, right field. He hit it right at Hayward.
Second time Cervelli's hit it sharply tonight. For outs. Lined out to Bryant back in the fourth. Yeah, I'm sure the Pirates will talk about that after the game, that they did hit a few balls hard right at people. Hang with them. Also hit that deep drive to right first time up, and then doubled in the seventh.
That's a strike. Series finale tomorrow night will feature John Lester and Tyler Glasnow. That's certainly a matchup, at least on paper, that looks favorable to the Cubs. And if they can hold on here tonight, they would go for the series sweep.
Ron just put another run on the board.
John still looking for his first win.
Yeah.
But he's been really good.
1-2 to Jaso.
Every pitch with Davis is competitive. You don't ever find yourself scratching your head going, what was that?
Oh, good eye, John.
Couldn't get that call. 2-2. Fly ball deep. Almora on the dirt. That ball carried well over 400 feet. But for out number 2.
A little anxious moment in the Cubs dugout as this ball left the bat at Jaso. He's had some good swings tonight. Really got extended through that breaking pitch. Take a look at the reaction by Almora as he reads it and then tracks it down.
So 2 outs, and the pitch to Mercer is low and wide.
Sometimes for an outfielder, that first quick step can be a little overrated because sometimes it's in the wrong direction. Sometimes the best play is to take a moment to read the ball off the bat.
According to StatCast, I'll correct myself. That ball went 386 feet just to the right of that 410 marker on the second out. 1-1.
So StatCast, and we can't make up anything anymore.
No.
They got numbers to prove us wrong.
Another ball pretty well hit. Almora, though, is there. Cubs win. Wade Davis, his reaction was kind of that he didn't enjoy that inning very much because they made really hard contact, but you'd rather have that than 3 bloop hits. And the Cubs hang on 1-0.
You'd rather have that than bloop hits or a couple of walks and put the potential winning run on base.
He's a perfectionist. Eventually a little bit of a smile. The Cubs able to beat Garrett Cole tonight, JD, on just 2 hits. So that's one you just kind of feel like you stole. And Kyle Hendricks had to be as good as he was.
Yeah, and I think the whole key was, some solid defense, the caught stealing by Contreras, the play by Rizzo on the line out. Bryant made a nice play down there at third base. Just bought Kyle a little time to settle in and get comfortable, find his rhythm, find his release point.